Integrity results from who we are most consistently, good or evil. One lacks integrity when the fruit of their life does not arise from what they truly believe, and it's more like tying fruit onto a tree than actually producing the fruit. If after listening this week you've been found lacking, you might be asking yourself, well, how do I get this integrity? Pastor Bartlett answers today.
A person with integrity is free from deception. Proverbs 11:3 says, "The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity." New International Version. Here, integrity and duplicity or deception are set in stark contrast. To be a person of duplicity means that one does not mean what one says. This person is flawed through and through. He or she pretends to be what they are not. Let us consider, for example, the action of the spies in Luke 20:20 to 26. Watching for their opportunity, the leaders sent spies pretending to be honest men. They tried to get Jesus to say something that could be reported to the Roman governor so he would arrest Jesus. "Teacher," they said, "we know that you speak and teach what is right and are not influenced by what others think. You teach the way of God truthfully. Now tell us, is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" He saw through their trickery and said, "Show me a Roman coin. Whose picture and title are stamped on it?" "Caesar's," they replied. "Well then," he said, "give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God." So they failed to trap him by what he said in front of the people. Instead, they were amazed by his answer, and they became silent. New Living Translation. Luke says they were pretending to be honest men, which is not surprising since they were spies. They were not interested in arguments about taxes or in the teaching of Jesus. They simply wanted an occasion to trap him and so prove him false. This is the deceitful, hypocritical person. He or she is not what he or she seems to be. He or she is thoroughly false. He or she does not say what they mean, and they do not mean what they say. Such a person appears to be genuine, but is not. A person with integrity practices transparency. To be transparent is to live an open life. What you see is really what you get. The transparent life is really a sincere life. There are no hidden motives or agendas with such a person. He or she is comfortable and confirmed in who and what they are, and they allow others to see it. There are no masks or pretense with such a person. Have you ever marveled at the fact that whatever Jesus was and what he did, he was and did before others, especially his disciples? He was most vulnerable with them. He cried before them, made them see him at his weakest moments. For example, in Gethsemane, and let them into the most intimate details of his life. When your life is without wrinkles or flaws, you can do that. People who strive to live whole lives must learn transparency. What are the steps to integrity? Stephen Carter, in his book Integrity, indicates that there are 3 steps to living with integrity. Persons who seek to have integrity must have discernment. Carter especially means that integrity requires that we discern what is right. We must know what is good and proper and right for us, and this must be upheld by some credible objective standard like the Bible. In other words, what is right and good for us to do is not left merely to our own choosing. We do not manufacture them out of our own existence. We discern them. Persons with integrity must have the courage to follow their convictions or live out their beliefs. This is without doubt a most difficult thing to do. To follow our convictions may cause us great suffering, loss, and even death. Both Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi suffered greatly because of their convictions. So too did the German theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who opposed Hitler and his Nazi regime. There are many other modern or ancient examples we could cite, but if we have come to our beliefs by reason, discernment, and conviction, we must be willing to pay the ultimate price to defend them. Such is the nature of integrity. Persons with integrity must be willing to give an adequate defense and explanation for what they believe. Carter says that this may be the most difficult step of all, for many of us know what we believe and may even have the courage to act on it, but we may not be able to defend it. I said our defense and explanation must be adequate, but perhaps a better term is credible. People with integrity must give good reasons, sound reasons for their convictions, beliefs, and actions. They must be able to show why these are morally, ethically, and structurally sound things to hold on to. Our inability to do so may weaken the very foundations on which these convictions, beliefs, and actions stand. To maintain integrity, we need to practice transparency and vulnerability. There is nothing as freeing as living an open life, free from falsehood, deceit, and the fear of letting others see you as you are. We must not only strive to be open, we must invite it. To maintain integrity, we need to practice accountability. The sheer pressures, trials, temptations, and the stresses of life demand that we let others help us. We must learn to bear each other's burdens and to do so with confidentiality, grace, empathy, and love. No man is an island, and no man stands alone. We can only be whole with the help of God and the community of believers. No successful leader can afford to keep his or her own counsel. As difficult as it may be, we need others in our lives at a personal level. Integrity demands it.
These are difficult words to hear in this age of secrecy, distrust, pretense, and self-preservation. But as iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens a friend's character. The Christian life is intended to be lived in community, where each one can challenge and stir each other to perfection, consistency, and integrity. What losses we suffer as we persist in fear to save face instead of knowing the healing of confession. Until next time, think on these things.